I was brushing my teeth when I noticed the cracks in the ceiling. Craning my neck, my eyes traced across the faint, spider-like lines that overlapped and ran along the ceiling above me. Had they been there before? Surely not. How many times had I glanced up at that ceiling while I used the toilet? I went back to brushing my teeth without another thought. It was an old house. Nothing to worry about. I was doing my makeup when I noticed the cracks in the ceiling a second time. I squinted. They were deeper, dark enough to trace each individual fracture in the bland white plaster. Expanding, blacker, or perhaps they weren't. Perhaps I was imagining their severity compared to the last time. Actually, they weren't bad at all, were they? That night, I dreamt the cracks were thick black strands of hair. They snaked down towards my frozen body and choked me. I awoke with a start, sweaty. I used the bathroom at work that morning instead. I couldn't bear to face the cracks. I did not want to see how they had expanded even more. Thicker, darker. For days, I managed to avoid the occasional glance at the bathroom ceiling, but I could feel the cracks wandering above me. I could sense them. I had just finished showering when I heard the buzzing. Faint, nearly imperceptible buzzing. It was coming from the cracks. I didn't look up. I ran into my room and shut the door. My wet towel shoved in the space between the door and the carpet to protect me. I dressed with shaky hands. Something lived in those cracks. Something lived in my ceiling. I called my friend. "Cracks," she echoed. "What do you mean?" "In my bathroom ceiling," I replied. "They keep getting bigger, and I heard buzzing from them." "Do you have an upstairs neighbor that happens to be an etymologist?" "I live in a house." "Right." Silence. Static. Buzzing. "I don't know what to say," she told me. "Make sure you don't have an infestation or something. I have to go. Call me back later, okay?" Okay. I did not call her back. I stopped using my bathroom. I became unwashed, dirty. It became an issue. I was asked to leave work until I fixed my hygiene. They didn't listen when I explained the cracks and how they grew. And the buzzing. How the buzzing haunted me at night. It was louder. So much so that I could hear it with my bedroom door shut. Whatever lived in those cracks had escaped. It lived in my bathroom. Unusable. Dirty. I was inspecting the fridge for something to eat when I noticed the cracks in my hand. Faint, thin cracks. Hardly noticeable at first glance, but I saw them. Furiously, I rubbed my hand. Soap, bleach, and steel wool could not remove the cracks. I was infected with them. The cracks had got into me. I was lying in bed when I noticed the movement beneath my skin. There were things that crawled just underneath the raw layer of skin on my hand. I could see them, feel them, and they buzzed. But they would not reside in me as they had resided in my bathroom. They could not have me. They could not take over my body. I would remove them. The cold metal of the knife sliced into my hand. I carved into the ugly cracks, widening them. I would remove them. They buzzed angrily at me. I worked faster, quicker, dug deeper. I removed veins and chunks of muscle. I could no longer move my fingers, but they were there, buzzing deep inside me, moving, crawling. With each stab and twist of the knife, they moved up my arm, and I followed them to my shoulder, into my chest. I can feel them with each heartbeat. they buzz, I will remove them.